we talked of the Indian Navy, the shortcomings, and you're saying it's trying to be made up. You've talked of now the government's focus trying to build connectivity across land connectivity at least. But really, the Indian Ocean is about sea connectivity. You have to have the ports. You have to have the ships. If to conduct trade, I mean, you talked earlier of the fact that this contributes 30% of the world's GDP. What are we doing about that? You have to have, efficient ports that move goods quickly, just as roads are trying to do now. Shipping is not living up to it. What has this government done, or what do you think needs to be done?
Actually, substantial work is happening in that region also. We are also building ports. We are building ports now in Bangladesh, in Myanmar, Maldives. We have anyway already a good base. In Mauritius now we got permission to build a big port in one of the islands. We are also expanding our footprint in this region by way of port building. It's another matter that China has been far ahead of us. They started this activity some 20 years ago. So they built a number of ports around us, which is called String of Pearls. We built one Chabahar, but before we started Chabahar work, they started Gwadar. So there is an inherent competition between us. But yes, India is now trying to at least catch up. We are also increasing our presence, our activity. That's why I said we have a number of countries in the region with whom we now have good maritime connectivity. We have established maritime connectivity. Our navies can make port calls at many, many ports. Today we have that kind of relationship, thanks to the new proactive approach that Prime Minister Modi or this government is taking.
Take trade, for instance, or trade agreements. We have had just an agreement, the UAE, free trade agreement happening in Australia. What do we need to do? If you had to look at it, we rejected the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, the RCEP, didn't want to join it. There was a lot of people saying we should have, because if we need to have influence on this area, that is a trade agreement. Others differ and say, no, bilateral is better. Where do you stand on this debate?
There was a time when we were, we were not comfortable with some such arrangements in the neighborhood. One of them was RCEP. I was one of those people who said that probably that decision could have been different. We could have probably joined and then wielded our power inside RCEP. But that's okay. There was a situation in which a decision was taken.
Is the door still open, or should we shut it fully? Where do we stand on RCEP?
Now we have moved on, because now there is Quad-led new economic arrangement coming into place in that region.
And that is called Indo-Pacific.
IPEF, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework.
Right.
Which is coming into place. There probably we are a part of that framework. We will play a greater role there. But having said it, you are right. After a gap, we have, Prime Minister Modi's government came into power in 2014.
Right.
The first free trade agreement happened only last year. It took 7 years to actually do the first free trade agreement. But that free trade agreement happened with UAE.
Right.
It shows that now there is that realization that the neighborhood, earlier session was about this GCC countries, Gulf and all that. We now attach a lot of importance to our relationship with those countries, and today we have best of the relations with GCC countries. Again, they are also a part of Indian Ocean region. Yes, that is the new focus, new attention now of the government.